All right, hello, welcome to a rough Friday, but a great week. Let's not lose the forest for the trees. A red Friday for Bitcoin, a red Friday for the Bitcoin miners, but I'm going to show you a couple of the other days this week, just so that we can all remember and put things in perspective. This was a little bit of a roller coaster, but we'll do some polls and see where you guys think this is headed. First things first, as always, let me know in the comments if you can see me and hear me. George is on the way. He's not here yet. He should join us in the next 1 or 2 minutes. He's on a call, so we should see him kick in a minute. So, yeah, let me know in the comments if you guys are hearing me, because it would not be the first time that I was talking to myself. All right, and now we got George coming in. As soon as he's ready, I'll turn on his... Can you hear me, George?
Yeah.
All right,
You're
we're
good.
live. We're live. Everybody's all right. I'm gonna put you on screen, and let me know if you guys can hear George.
Hey, everyone. You're just calling me George and that King XRP?
King George of the planet XRP. I got
yes.
I think we got your voice, but I don't have your face.
That's okay. Who cares?
All right, good. George is drunk on XRP profits. That's what Steve
Yes,
English
I
said.
am.
This was a good week for George. Everything pulled back a little bit today, but still a huge week for XRP. Big news there. So we got to talk XRP today in addition to Bitcoin, and I'll definitely let George lead that charge because he's been telling everybody for a long time. XRP.
And it seemed like on Tuesday I got a heated argument about XRP too on the member stream, which you could too be a member.
You could be a member of our member stream. So this Tuesday, George was saying buy XRP, so he's been pounding the table on that, and you know, he said good things were coming, and sure enough, very good news this week. Although it's wild, we'll dig into that. The way the SEC spun that was mind-boggling. But I think
you guys remember, this ain't even the run yet, just so you guys know. I don't even think this is the run. I don't even think this is the run for any crypto. I think this is just a way to get more people.
This is just the next
Dave
book.
Walker, I have no XRP. George didn't tell us. Oh, that is really funny. Please, please, please.
George, if there's anybody in this world that's been saying buy XRP, it's been George for probably a year and a half. Am I right?
Yeah, I've been, and trust me, it's been painful because you guys have been ripping on me forever about it. But dude, it's not over because look, it just tanked 13%. You know,
smash the like button if you're happy for George and XRP, or if you're happy to be here, or if you're sad because today was a red day. So hopefully everybody took this in its proper perspective, because we'll definitely, I'm zoomed in on the 15-minute time frame right now, and it looks awful, but if I zoom out a little, I think everybody knows, like, this is a blip on the radar, in my opinion. However,
it's definitely not. Yeah, this is not financial advice. We're just sharing some of the stories that George has had and Tom has had.
That's exactly right. Not financial advice, but these are our opinions.
They might call XRP Fed now too, by the way.
Uh-oh. XRP goes to Davos, so might as well call it Klaus Schwab coined. There's some trash talk going on here.
Hey!
All right. Welcome to a new member. Ismail Rivera. Welcome to the Talkin' Investing Squad. So thank you. Appreciate you joining. So anybody, if you're interested, you can hit. We try to offer the lowest membership humanly possible. It's $5 a month. You can join by hitting the join button on the YouTube page. So we're already on YouTube, so you just hit the join button. There's a library of content ready and waiting for you. All right, welcome to Talkin' Investing. There's the notification for our new member. We've done a lot of deep dives. The members get to pick a video each week to do a deep dive on. And a lot of times, it's oftentimes a stock that our members have, in my personal opinion, a lot of expertise. And so they recommend some outstanding stocks. So it's a great opportunity for me. I'm going to be adding. I just went through this weekend big time and looked at all the member suggestions over the last 90 days. And I'm going to be shuffling things around a little bit. And I've picked some that I'm going to add. So I'll let you guys know, as I do that along the way. FV702, welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for the super chat. Much appreciated. So let's see what FV702 has to say. Another crazy week. Dinner was on me at the Olive Garden last night at the bar. Had to celebrate buying strangers dinner. Best day ever yesterday. And I did. So let's just take a moment for FV702. I took a screenshot. So let's get out of today. This was yesterday. So we can all pretend, since we didn't have a live stream yesterday, and I know FE702, by the time I saw your note, it was too late. He would recommended, let's jump on and do a live stream, but I missed my window. But had we done a live stream yesterday, we would be looking at this. HUT up almost 20%. Everything was double digits yesterday. HUT 19%, Hive 17, CleanSpark almost 13, Riot about 15, Marathon 14.5, CIFR 22.8%,
All right.
Energy 11%, BitDeer 15%, Gree was up 33%, TerraWolf 22%. Oh, by the way, if you happen to be in DMG blockchain, 45%. So
wow.
I'm just taking a minute because, we'll go back and live in today again and see some red. But by no means did we even give back, forget the whole week, not even yesterday. So, yes, it was a red day, but, yesterday, and this was not the only green day. I think yesterday was the best day of the week. This is one of it's hard to beat a day like this. There may be other days this year we've had as good as this, but, this was out of this world. So I did screenshot and save that just in case today, was a typical Friday sell-off, and I think a bunch of different things are going on. So, all right, there's a look at that. We'll go back to reality. So here's today. You can see,
Tom, are you at all nervous about Bitcoin with this 5% pullback?
I am not nervous. So we'll do a poll and let's see what everybody else thinks. I don't want to bias everybody. So excellent question. Let's ask everybody what they think, and then we'll talk about what we think. So what's the question?
Well, what was also interesting is, oh, sorry, I was going on as you were going to write the question.
Yeah, go ahead.
What was also interesting about yesterday is how all crypto took off. But what still has me a little worried, I'm just going to let you know, is that we had an extra $10 billion that went into crypto yesterday, and now it's all gone. And we went back to almost to where we were yesterday, which is kind of before all the news of XRP, which is kind of troublesome to me. So we went up to like 1.226 trillion. And now we're coming back. Now we're at 1.214 trillion. So you can see the money being pulled back out, which is nervous. But it's nice to see swings like this. I'm not going to lie. But look at the Stellar is down 16.5% right now. XRP is down 13.5.
Yes, but it was up at one point yesterday. It was up like 97% or something like that.
Yeah, that's incredible, isn't it?
All right, so I'm going to put this up. I intentionally I'm not giving people the option to bail out of this and say it's going to go sideways. So the question is, Bitcoin. Oh, it just disappeared on me. Bitcoin back on track by the end of the weekend. Yes, Bitcoin on the way to 35,000, or no, Bitcoin breaks below 30,000. And you can see, once again, even on the 15-minute time frame, this 15-minute candle did hold $30,000. We candle wicked below this on the 15-minute time frame, which isn't even worth looking at. So, it held 15 minutes. The real important ones are the 4-hour time frame. For me, I look at the 4-hour, the 1 day, and things beyond that. So when, we could zoom all the way down to 15 minutes, and we were still okay at 30,000. And that's been a critical critical line of support. What I was hoping is 31,000 was going to turn into a line of support. That did not happen. And we got the XRP thing did turn the market upside down a little bit. So I think a lot of this up and down does have a lot to do with that. I know there's a lot of other theories flying around as well. So we can talk about some of those. What's going on in the chat? Have I missed anything? I did sell a bunch more of my Bitfarms $1.50 August. So I've been averaging I'm more than 70% sold out of those now. So I've been averaging out of those. And, you know, that's the way I try to hold my stock. But, you know, sometimes I do mess around with options. And so those, they pulled back a little, but they were up at one point. The last batch I sold, I was up 437%. So, you know, I didn't get all of them that way. So what I try to do is, you know, if an option's going the right way for me, when it doubles, I sell some, you know, and then if it triples, I sell some more. If it quadruples, I sell some more, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then at some point, I got to use my judgment and say, is it time to get out of these or, you know, ride it out to the end? So
here's my question, Tom. Do you stay right to those?
My
numbers. Yeah.
Yeah, I tried. I mean, you know, it was 437%. So that was the last time I exited out. Now they've pulled back. So now I got to wait and see what happens. You know, if we keep going down, if this doesn't hold, you know, here we go again. We're about to test 30,000 and we could candle wick below it. Or maybe we'll go, you know, maybe this question's going to answer itself right here on the live stream if we go lower. But I do think I feel like this is another one of those fake outs. This was a week of fake outs and hugely volatile. But you'll see, you know, on this chart, the Bitcoin miners that I have near the top of my list, and it's not in rank exact order, but, you know, these first 8 or 10 are the larger market caps. These bottom are the very small market caps. So you'll see the gigantic moves today. You know, Argo Blockchain down 18%, Stronghold down 13%, Mawson down 17%. Those are micro-cap stocks. So the big stocks did not have a good day. Even, you know, Riot and Marathon, which are by far the biggest, they were down. Riot was down about 5.8 and Marathon about 6.4. So they had bad days, but, you know, they gave back 5%. But I'm going to just go back to, you know, Marathon yesterday was up 14.5% and Riot was up 15%. So, you know, they didn't give back anywhere near what you gained yesterday. So even just in those 2 days, you're way, way ahead. So I try to keep, and that's why I take a screenshot almost every day, you know, unless it's an unbelievably boring day. And so, because I like to look back. I mean, you guys know on the weekend, for those of you who don't know, if you're new to the channel, every weekend I summarize what happened for each Bitcoin miner for the 18 that I follow for what happened from Friday to Friday. So what happened during the week, what happened year to date, and we slice this up a bunch of different ways. So I know I see a lot of you on the chat that are, hey, Crypto Fever, welcome. So I see a lot of you on the chat that are members or longtime subscribers or members. So I know you guys know that I do that every weekend. And I did just do maybe yesterday or something. I don't know. The days fly by, but I just did the monthly update this week. So I think you could check out, I think that might have been yesterday. So everybody's put out their operational report, and it's not actually everybody, but it's everybody who's the top 10. There's a few, you know, that are nowhere near the top 10 that are a little bit late on their reports, but we did get, you know, Hut and Hive and CleanSpark, Riot, CIFR, Iris, BitDeer is now on that list. BitDigital put theirs out. WULF put theirs out. So Stronghold is now producing in the top 10. So that's been, for those of you on the channel, you know, we did a members only Stronghold video right before that. That's pulled a double in the 3 weeks since we did that video. So that's been a good one. That was a winner. And it
Winner,
was down
winner,
today.
chicken dinner.
So let me go back to reality here. So that was volatile. You know, it was down 13. It was down 13% today. But if I go like this. Oh, also, I want to talk about the DXY because we had a long conversation. I'm not sure if that was in the private members only video or if that was on last Friday's, but this is starting to possibly break in our favor. And we just really talked about that the other day. All right. Let me get back on. Okay. So, Stronghold. I'm going to go to the 1 day. So you can see it gave a little bit back, but look at the run this is on. From June 29th, and it's only July 14th. Right? So to the top, this was up 176% in 2 weeks. You know, we gave a bunch of that back today, but we're still up. We're still up almost 120%. And that's, so we made our members-only video somewhere right here on one of these days. And so, you know, for those who did their own due diligence, bought in, and, you know, that was really good timing, fortunate timing. You know, they're not, obviously, they don't all go that way, but that was a winner. This poll is very close. Very close. So if you haven't voted, place your votes. I'm going to end this in just a couple minutes and we'll get to the next poll. But right now, so the question is, if you have just joined us, our poll is, it's free to vote, so please vote. Is Bitcoin going to get back on track over the weekend? And are we going to, by Monday, are we going to be back on our way to 35,000? Or no, are we going to break below 30,000 over the weekend? So which way are we going? And you can see here we are, even on the 15-minute. This is two 15-minute candles in a row. This got down to $30,031. This current candle got down to $30,020. So we are really right there at that line of support. We'll see what happens.
Don't you wish they would give you information about this, like after it happened? You know what I'm saying? About what? About like what really happened. Why did Bitcoin do what it did? You know what I mean?
Well, who knows? But who knows the answer to that?
I know, no one does.
We're going to get a lot of theories, and a lot of people are going to tell us they know why. And once it happens, it's always easy to. Everybody's hindsight's 20/20. That's the oldest one in the book. But I don't know. Why did it run up? Here's what I think. Bitcoin has been on its way up. It's been on its way up. I'm going to go to the 1 day. It's been on the verge of a breakout, which I think was going to happen naturally on its own. Right? We've got, I mean, I hate even bringing this up, but like this is a pretty clear bull flag that was going on, and you can see, like, you know, this is really good consolidation. That's weeks and weeks of, and every time that's happened in the past, it's led to a nice run up. We're at a critical point here. This very small yellow line is Bitcoin up 100% from its November lows. So you can see we've been hanging around that spot, just trying to break out. Yesterday, let me get this yellow thing out here. Yesterday's daily candle was the highest daily candle close. So we closed at 31,471. That's the highest daily candle close since May of 2022.
Wow.
So that's 14-month high. You know, that. So this was the explosion yesterday with XRP. So the XRP news hit yesterday, and as we were going sideways, I think we weren't ready for this, but it happened anyway because, you know, good news fed upon itself, and we got a little bit. So I still think we're going there. We just had a fake out because of the good news yesterday. And now, you know, double whammy. It's a day later. And so, you know, people are digesting that. And it's a Friday and people are taking profits after, in the Bitcoin miners, what was a phenomenal week again. So it's been week after week after week. Oh, yes, thank you. Steven said, hit the like button, guys. So, yes, please, if you could, we would appreciate it. It helps the stream. Thanks, everybody, for joining us here today. Much appreciated. Hope you enjoyed the videos this week, and hope you guys had a good week despite today. Hopefully, everybody had a pretty good week.
I had a good week.
That's right. George, you had a great. This was one of your weeks. I don't think it's the week. There's, like you said.
No, and here's the thing, and it's funny because we were talking about it. I don't know the end. I just don't know if we're, if it's sucking us in. Personally, I think that's what I think could be happening. But you just don't know.
So I'm going to zoom out for a minute for Bitcoin. So if we zoom out, I'll get rid of my lines. You can see, I mean, this was FTX, right? Remember at the beginning of November, I mean, this was a gigantic plummet. So down 25% in a couple of days. That was the FTX situation. This was a new low. This is when we got down, you can see we got down to like 15,500-ish. Our previous low, and this was a gigantic candle wick, this was 17,500. So, this really took that out. We spent 2 months consolidating around that. But from there, I mean, you can see, so we double bottomed in November. And from there, it's been, from the bottom to the top was almost 106%. This is for Bitcoin in, 6.5 months, 7.5 months. So that's extremely bullish. We're clearly in the middle of a bull run. I'm going to do my old arrow.
I know you don't like this person, Tom, but Plan B.
Oh.
I was looking at it, but I was looking at his chart since the beginning of Bitcoin. That's amazing. It's never retraced, meaning that it does have a little bit of a pullback, but it's never retraced all the way back down. So if it does it, it will be the first time it's ever done it. Did you know that?
I got tech support trying to get your face on the screen, so
okay.
I got a little sidetracked. Aha!
Aha!
Everybody say hello to George. George's face. He's been here in
George's
voice,
face.
in face.
But does that make sense though? What I'm saying about Bitcoin? It's never retraced.
I missed what you said, so let's hear what you said. I'm sorry.
So Plan B did a chart, and there's a little bit of a pullback. But what I mean by retraces is never gotten back down after there's been, we're in a bull run. That's what I'm saying.
I'm gonna go. Let me get. All right, welcome to Talking Investing. NS, welcome to the Talking Investing Squad. A new member, thank you for joining. Much appreciated. You can also, to new members, we do have a members-only Discord. And I will say, we have a free Discord. Go there at your own risk. It's very crowded. But we have a members-only Discord that is, I think, very, very high-quality conversation. So there's a way to link up to that. You can check out the video, and obviously you can check out the actual library of videos that we have ready and waiting for you. So welcome, NS. Welcome to the Talking Investing Squad. I want to show you guys, because I think I know what George is talking about, and I wanted to show you something along those lines, because there is, but I got to go to the weekly. Something did happen this time that's never happened before. So, and it goes to... Oh, wow, that's really... So this is like the whole shooting match. So, you see this high back here in December 17? So what you're saying, George, and what Plan B was saying, and maybe he was saying it a little bit differently, but in the history of Bitcoin, each time we hit a new high like this after a halving, we pull back, but then when we hit the next new high, this previous high has always been a floor. We've never, ever gone below that in the history of Bitcoin. So this time you'll see we did pull below that for the first time ever. But, not drastically, but that little period right there, that's So I do have a line. This line right here. When we went below this was historic because it's never happened before. We've never gone below. This, I think, is what you were talking about, George. Let me know if I'm wrong.
Yep, nope, you got it.
So, for whatever reason, this time around, and that's why I argue, in many ways, this was actually the worst crypto winter we've ever had. There's a lot of this has never happened before that happened this time around in the crypto winter. So, I think with more adoption and being much more high profile, it caused, with the FTX situation, the amount of FUD, those 3 letters that both Larry Fink and this channel aren't saying anymore, a lot of FUD. So that caused some new things to happen. In addition to that, it's fair to say this is a very new asset. So, some of these things like, oh, this has never happened before. Well, we've only had 3 halvings, so there's not a gigantic sample group. So all these records are good until they break, I guess is what I would say. And that's true for every chart you look at and everything. But, putting them all together, they can be, they can lead to good analysis, but it's still no guarantee of the future. I digress big time. Go ahead, George.
Yeah, my whole thing is, I do think there's going to be something. That's my whole thing. Because it's never happened before.
Oh, I got to stop drawing random yellow lines. So you think we're going to have an unprecedented pullback?
Yes. Because it's never happened before. Does that make sense?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, all these things that never happened before, that's all true until it's not true. And then it happens. So, NS, there's a video. Sorry, NS in the chat asked, don't understand where the link to the private Discord is. There is a video that shows you how to link your YouTube to the private Discord. If not, I will get tech support, or George, I think, has helped in the past. We'll get a hold of you and let you know how to get in there if you can't find your way in.
Yeah, you can just add me and then I can send you the link on Discord. What is my name? I'll put my thing. Hopefully I don't get too many hot chicks bugging me.
I know that, the problems we have. Okay, so look, and I know this is only the 15-minute time frame, but once again, look at this perfect bounce off of 30,000. There is a buy wall at $30,000. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to hold forever. Buy walls break. But you can clearly see there's a buy wall at $30,000. So the question is, and that's kind of our question right now, and we're going to end this poll, and it's a close one. The question is, essentially, is that buy wall going to break, and are we going to get to some new lower points, or are we going to bounce off of that, as we have been for... If I zoom back out, I mean, this yellow line is from November of 2022 to the middle of July of 2023. All of this is bullish. And you can see, to be fair, there's pullbacks. That was a pullback. So, inside of all these, you always get, instead of drawing arrows, let's go like this. We seem to have these 20 to 25% corrections. So there was a 20% correction, and that was, from February to March. Then this one took a lot longer. This, if you guys remember, like, by somewhere in the middle of June, which was just a month ago, everybody, for this period right here, remember, George, everybody was like, oh my goodness, Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners are the most boring thing. It's going to be October or November or December before anything happens here. Everybody bailed out and just those are the classic moments when something's about to give. When everybody kind of loses interest and gives up and bails out. So it's, and we retested another pretty much perfect retest of this $25,200 line, which we were calling, even up here, we were saying, probably if we have a retest, we're going to pull back to here. It took a while, but this was, so another just under, 19%. So we've had two 20% pullbacks. So Could that happen again? Definitely. I think, in fact, it's fair to say at some point we're gonna get pullbacks. The question is it gonna are we gonna have a nice run up and then a 20% pullback, or are we gonna run into George's scenario where all of a sudden, wait a second, we have some kind of 50% retracement or 100% retracement all the way back down to the bottom? Or George, you're thinking maybe even worse than that. I don't know. I don't want to say that. I don't put words in your mouth.
Nobody knows. That's all I can tell you.
Right. Nobody knows. That's the bottom line. So,
my thing is, I always like taking some profits. I took a little bit of profit when it got up above 85%. You got to take something. I mean, it's a hard game, and even though it goes up, if you don't sell it, you didn't make any money. So that's the same even if it goes down. But I will give you an update on the 10K challenge. Hang on 1 second.
Oh, see, you should have given an update. Yeah. So add today, because I'm sure it pulled back today. Let's see let us know what it was yesterday and what it is today.
This was going to be interesting.
Because today we got beat up.
Oh my goodness.
What?
It's at $5,000.
So yeah, so that's
today,
up
right now.
Oh wow. So even after today's pullback, that's up like 330% year to date.
So it's down.
We lost you. It's like action shot right as you were about to say it. So we're still down. I'll finish George's sentence until. Oh, are you back? You're
315.
Huh?
We went down $315 from yesterday.
Oh, that wasn't bad at all.
No.
Okay, good. So,
but dude, most people would run and hide from this challenge. We didn't.
We got beat up in 2022. For those of you who are not familiar with our 10K challenge, we started it at the beginning of 2022. I blame myself. I think the rules for the challenge, which we made, and I feel like it's my fault. We said we'll put 10K in and see what we can turn it into. Well, number one, we ran into one of the 3 worst years out of the last 60 years. But more importantly than that, a part of the challenge was we were not allowed to add any money. So we put $10,000 up front. So I did average in over the first 3 months. But if you go back and look at 2022, we peaked in about March, and then the rest of the year was an absolute disaster. So I'm dollar cost averaging in for the first 3 months of the year. And then the last 9 months of the year, we were unable to do that, and that's the worst of all case scenarios. So in our personal accounts, George had conviction in XRP. He continued to dollar cost average in. I continued to dollar cost average into the Bitcoin miners, among a few other growth stocks. And, so in that scenario, you end up way further ahead. So this challenge got beat up. We were down, I think, to like
$1,800.
$1,800. So, we're basically almost, yesterday we were triple that. So we pulled back a little bit today. So
tell me a conservative number and then a grotesque number in, like, if we leave it alone 2 years, 4 years.
If we leave that alone, it should still. There's a couple small stocks I'd like to switch out of in there, but right now we've literally left it alone. We didn't make a single trade this year. We've just let it sit and because it was full of either Bitcoin miners or other high, small cap, high growth type stocks, and those have acted similarly as well. Not to the extent of the Bitcoin miners, but yeah, I expect that to be back to 10,000. Maybe by the end of the year.
That's nice.
And then, and like you said, you don't know. If Bitcoin struggles a lot worse, I'm bullish on Bitcoin for the rest of the year. I do think there's more room to the upside. I think we're going to be in...
No, I just think I just think we got one shakeout left. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
I'm not saying anything's changed with the fundamentals of Bitcoin, because there's only 21 million coins, baby.
Right,
but I just think there's going to be one more shakeout.
So maybe if there's a big shakeout, maybe we should have on a live chat, we should discuss, do we dollar cost average in the 10K challenge
put another $5,000 in or something.
Right. In the event that happens, but that's in the future. We'll see
Good.
what happens. I'm gonna end
Only
this
thing do you remember? Almost a month ago, I said that I wanted to take and put a large amount of money into all these altcoins.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't do it.
Well, I don't think it's too late because, even if there is a little pullback after yesterday's euphoria, for the
no, it's not too. It's not too late. It's not too late.
Yeah.
Remember, Tom, when we started talking crypto, when we started this channel, I want to say the whole crypto, including Bitcoin, was like it might have been close to $5 trillion.
It was, I think, I can't remember, but I felt like it peaked somewhere over $3 trillion, and then it got under $1 trillion, which you called at a very high number. George had said, you know what, I think this whole thing's going down to $1 trillion. And that ended up being the case. In fact, it went even lower than that.
Right, it went to 800. So on crypto, and by the way, you hit the nail on the head, my friend. George, the deep shakeout that you're talking about the 10K will only happen with a major black swan event. Hello, I totally agree with that statement.
Yeah. So I think that's right, George. And we kind of don't, there's certain things we don't say out loud on the channel because then they shadow ban us and make us disappear. But yes, if something like that were to happen, and I think that's, George thinks there's a reasonable concern that one of those things could happen over the next, 12 months, 24 months, whatever the case may be.
But I will tell you this, that I am really, really, really serious. I shouldn't tell you this, but I will tell you. You ready?
Ready. Are you going to really tell us?
I'm really going to dump a lot of money into Bitcoin. Directly into the coins. Directly into
all the cryptocurrencies or just Bitcoin?
No, just Bitcoin. I mean, I'm gonna buy. Let's just say I'm gonna buy some coins, more than one.
All right.
I think that because my theory is because of Edmund, and that is if I just start dollar cost averaging in, I'd be a fool not to do it that way. So even if it does go to 10,000, I don't care. Who cares? If you're not going to sell it, it doesn't matter. It's no different. But the problem is the scarcity is going to affect the price of Bitcoin. It is going to come into huge, huge play here soon. And if we ever get freaking regulations, that would really help it too.
Well, and I think regulations are coming, and I think the court ruling for, even though it's an isolated thing, I think the court ruling we got for XRP is, I think that's a harbinger of things to come. There's this, they've held out as long as they can, in my opinion. It's way longer than I thought it was going to be. It's way longer than I said it was going to be. But they've managed to hold on, and by they, big money, and straight up the SEC has just been, creating FUD around the cryptocurrency world, and they've taken their, they went as far as they can go. They sued the two biggest exchanges in the world. They've been in this battle with XRP that has really been a cloud over all of cryptocurrency.
And then those 3-digit letters, they made that whole BS thing up to get people out of crypto.
Exactly right. I have a little Larry Fink tab regarding those 3 letters and some stuff we can look at in a few minutes, because there was some stuff that came out yesterday. BlackRock reported earnings. So, they said a lot of stuff, and a lot of it pertained to Bitcoin. So that's why I think it's relevant. But a lot of it contained, some of the FUD regarding that ends up hitting the Bitcoin miners.
Tom, I was going to do $1 million.
Oh, into the. Are
you looking at 1 million?
1 million.
And to be crypto fever, but George, to be fair, mega black swan event theories, all the time in any cycle, in any bear or bull market. 100% agree. But I just would say right now, it seems like we're more ripe to have a black swan event. Another one, by the way.
Yeah, they're going to have to stop calling them black swan events if they occur
Yeah.
this often, you know?
Yeah, I know.
We've had too many. I just saw Edmund
And
say,
it's
George.
crazy. It's crazy. I don't know if you pay attention to politics or the world of what's going on around us, but I can see major 20% pullback and 20% increases in Bitcoin like that with any event could happen.
Yeah, even yesterday's was just some news, and look, it was a boom up. Let's zoom in and see how much of a move that was. I'm going to get rid of this yellow line because it
I found a place, I can't tell you, but I found a place to buy Bitcoin. And I can't tell you where, but yes, I have somebody. It's not OTC, by the way.
So, this was a 5 or 6% move in either direction yesterday and then again today. So, that's one day. I can't see it anymore. It's off my screen. But Edmund was telling you, forget all that. Just buy Iris Energy. And I'm paraphrasing. Forget the coin. Just buy and hold Iris Energy.
Iris.
50,000 Bitcoin December 31st would be great. I agree.
You want to even know? You want to hear something even crazier? I think it's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm looking at buying more real estate right now.
I think that depends definitely from market to market. Real estate is the ultimate. Real estate is local. There's no doubt. Every once in a while it's national in that there's a crisis. But, otherwise real estate is so local.
He's taking Bitcoin to coin again? That guy.
Huh? Who? What?
Craig Wright taking Bitcoin to taking BTC to court next year could be the black Satoshi.
Oh, jeez. All of that should have no effect on the actual coin.
Aliens would be the ultimate black swan event. I think so. But
how
what's
would that
crazy,
affect the market?
People get nervous, man. I can't believe more people aren't nervous about the banks when we've had, can we talk about that?
Well, listen, we got to talk at some point. We got to talk the Fed. We got to talk interest rates and, what the ramifications of that are. That's all. All of that plays in. Nothing has driven the market more in the last 15 months than the Fed and interest rates.
Oh,
and really behind the scenes probably for the last 20 years. Right, and it's not even just interest rates. It's, the difference between quantitative tightening and the quantitative easing that is, I think, around the corner. We'll see from a timing standpoint, but, this has been a wild. You want to talk about a black swan event? The Fed raising rates at 10 consecutive meetings and, shrinking their balance sheet. That's happened twice in my lifetime, so that's a pretty rare thing to happen. I wouldn't call it a black swan event, but it's very rare. That's as bearish a thing, and it happens, once in a generation, over the course of time.
Well, I mean, this week alone, I can think of two things that happened, and I'm not going to bring it up, that could have turned into a black swan event.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell you later, Tom, but it's very crazy, the things that have happened this week that really no one even knows about. And I'm not a conspiracy theory. I'm talking about things that actually happened in the United States in Congress. I was like, wow. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Crypto Fever said, George, I don't know what diet you're on, but congrats, man. You look totally different, much skinnier. Congrats. Keep it up. Good job,
it's
George.
Because I shaved for you guys.
Oh, nice.
I wanted to look my best.
George was ready for the stream.
I've been working, so a good, I had an employee that worked for me for 11 years that just passed away. He was 43. So
Darren
keep your
said,
thought. His name was Greg Gals.
"Oh yeah,
And
yeah."
so, but because of him, I haven't missed a day in the gym since that day. I'm like, you know what? I ain't going down like that.
That was a sad
43
story. That's
though.
much too young to go. And it happens. But, you know, obviously, our thoughts to Greg's family. That's a
Yes.
terrible situation. Darren S. is saying, what a wonderful week it was, and you two only talk negative. Jeez, Darren. Ouch.
Tom doesn't.
We've mostly been
Darren, you
extremely
might want to
upbeat.
start in the beginning. I would tell you that I'm realistic. I'm not negative. I just told you that I thought that what is it? You're pulling my wanker. Is it, remember? Yankee my wanky. What was that? Remember? Who was that? The Chinese guy in that movie? You don't remember? I don't remember. I just remember. What was it? Like Revenge of the Nerds?
Oh, you're going back. Man.
Revenge of the Nerds.
Calvin said he's a
Calvin, you're like
trainer.
this one. I was losing so much weight, I stopped losing weight because I do not want to have skin hang off of me. I went carnivore, is what I did, by the way. I train all the time. I go to the gym nonstop. I live at the gym. Not really. I only go one time a day.
No, George does work out at least once a day. I'm going to end
Just
this
remember.
poll. This is the fourth time I've said that, so I'm going to do it for real this time. Thanks for everybody for participating. 132 votes in the poll. That's one of our all-time best, but a very close poll. 57% of us are optimistic and think we're going to make it through the weekend and head back up to 35. 43% think we're going to break below 30K and test some lower numbers. So very, very close poll. This is usually I think we're probably one of the more optimistic groups as a whole. So even we're pretty split here. So we'll see what comes next. I'll tell you, my vote would be 35,000. I think this is a blip. I think a lot of things came together at the same time and caused a down day here today. You know, it's hard to complain when we gave back. A lot of these companies gave back only maybe a third of what they went up just yesterday. So, you know, and you can see even Bitcoin just barely gave back what it got yesterday. We're virtually in the same spot. So very sideways still so far. I think this is all super healthy consolidation. I think the next move is to the upside. I'm on record. I've been saying 35,000 for a while now, and I'm still there. I think 30 is going to hold. I'll have to, you know, if it doesn't, if we start closing multiple daily candles below 30, then I guess I'm wrong. But I feel like that's not happening. Confidence is, I'm going to say high. Yes, confidence is high, not financial advice.
Oh, and I want to, Mr. K, Wes K said, I heard Binance laid off 1,000 employees today. You all think that affected BTC today?
I did see that apparently, and I just skimmed the article, but I guess a bunch of their executives quit maybe like this week or yesterday.
No, a bunch of the executives quit last week.
Was it last week?
How about people in compliance, like the VP of compliance?
Oh boy.
Nothing to worry about, right?
Nothing to see here.
Yeah, when those type of guys walk out of a company, there's something wrong. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, that's not a good sign.
No.
Edmund, Tom, Iris Energy has by far the lowest market cap per exahash of any mid to large size. 70.1. CleanSpark is next at 97. I agree, Edmund. I think Iris's market cap is very low. It's been, for me, probably my number one position that I've added to in 2023. But the caveat to that is I just started this position in 2023. So I've been going extra heavy into it because I felt like I was a little late to the party. Although I feel like I got in, just in time. That position's been extremely good to me. So I don't mind a big pullback in one day. In fact, to me, that's a buying opportunity. So I think that's one of the top 3 that I've been buying this year for sure. And maybe it's going to end up being the overall. I think there's more than one winner. So, for admin right now, I think Iris Energy is definitely your favorite. And there's some calculations like that show, Iris Energy is the most undervalued. And there's a lot of different ways to look at this, but that's a fair one. And that's why I've been adding. I mean, just so that you guys know, the ones that I've been adding to this year are, I still add to CleanSpark. I still add to Bitfarms, although with Bitfarms, I've been selling the options that I was in. So that's taking, I've been taking profit by selling the options.
You ready for the rumor about why Bitcoin is dumping? Sorry about my fingers in my camera. Here's why Bitcoin is dumping. Can you see how I'm looking at my camera? Bitcoin is dumping because SEC lost against XRP, and they're taking revenge by selling the Bitcoin that they seized from Silk Road. FYI.
I've heard a lot of Silk Road talk today.
Yes. Isn't that sad?
That's, and if that's true on any one day, can they cause a little bit of a pullback? I'm looking. I did buy today. So, and the last one that I've been buying heavy is Stronghold, and that pulled back. It ended the day down 13%. So, I added.
Well, you should be able to look at the wallet because everybody knows which wallet that is. So I don't think that's a rumor.
I don't know. I mean, you're right.
I'll tell you what, though. If that is true, that means Bitcoin's a lot stronger than I thought.
I don't know if it's true. I read an article, and again, I don't know what to believe anymore. You know what I mean? Even quote-unquote reliable sources are not always necessarily accurate, but I was told that they gave exact specific dates and time frames that they were going to sell off that Mt. Gox money.
Coins. No. Is that Silk Road?
Oh, that's not Silk Road, though. No.
Silk Road.
Oh, you're right. So not Silk Road. So maybe they're...
Well, okay. So I actually tried to buy this. I do know a little bit about this one. I actually tried to buy seized Bitcoin from the United States.
To no avail, it sounds like?
No, I was in the running. I bid a whole bunch, but
you were bidding on it. Gotcha.
Yeah, but it was it was like U.S. government deals or something like that is the website. So I would imagine that they would list them at the exact same spots again. Why wouldn't they?
Crypto Fever said, yeah, I saw the wallet. It's true.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. So that would change my mind if that's the case, by the way. That would make Bitcoin a lot stronger than where it actually is.
If that was one of the factors, everything tells me today was a short-term situation, and if that added to it, I think there was a confluence of events here today, and that could have been a big one of them.
I want to say another Black Swan event that could happen, and it might happen this year. Zuckerberg versus Musk.
I don't feel like
maybe
Black Swan event.
That could be a Black Swan event. Could be.
It could be a very interesting pay-per-view event. I think Crypto Fever said, here, guys, this is the Justice Department's wallet address, but I don't think any links show up or addresses or anything show up in the chat. I might be wrong, so you might be trying to show us that and it's not working. So if it's not working, don't
everybody
stress out about it, because I think
Silk Road. Yeah, CoinDesk is linked Bitcoin worth 300 billion moves in the U.S.
George is
They had
time warping right now.
500. They had 50,000 bitcoins, but there's no way they just dumped 50,000 bitcoins.
You're breaking up, just so you know, George. I'm kind of catching what you're saying.
They said they sold almost 10,000 in March for 216 million.
Crypto Fever said you can Google the address and it takes you straight to the wallet. So for those of you who want to know, apparently you can go take a up close and personal look at that wallet directly. By the way, 3 green candles. It's on. It's back on. We got 3 green 15-minute candles in a row. Bitcoin to the moon.
Dude, yeah, that's amazing. So they might have. That'd be interesting if they could buy and sell it.
Well, they have a finite. The thing is, they have a finite amount. And the other thing that I will add to this conversation is, if you look at. So I'm going to go. This happens to be CoinMarketCap.com. No affiliation to us in any way, shape, or form. I just happen to be looking at that website. Look at the volume. This is the trading volume. So Bitcoin's market cap is about $588 billion. There's just under $22 billion of trading volume in the last 24 hours. So it's getting harder and harder to seriously manipulate Bitcoin on a day-to-day basis. That is a lot. And look at Ethereum is over $10 billion of trading volume. Now, Tether, this trading volume is irrelevant. This is a stable coin pegged to $1, so this is a transactional thing. So that number is, very high, but it's not as meaningful. But these are big, big trading volumes. Which leads me to the fact that, I'm going to bring up an article that I got here somewhere. Where is that? Dun, dun, dun. Please stand by.
Dun, 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 dun. Sorry.
Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so Bitcoin, this is a few days old now, but it goes to exactly what we talked about. Bitcoin could surge 300% to 120K next year as miners reduce token sales. So this article goes on to talk about Bitcoin may be primed for 120K valuation. I'm very bullish on Bitcoin. I think it's going to do even better than this. But I think the premise of this article doesn't make any sense. And it's extremely, extremely accepted as, I won't say fact, but what they're talking about is, let me see if I can get to it. If the Bitcoin price averages $50,000, as we predict, the Bitcoin minus all the cash costs, calculate. Let's see. All right, that's not the relevant part. Effectively, this would be enough to reduce the net supply of Bitcoin by around 250,000. Not only could this pressure prices, but would have an effect on the currency inflation. So they're basically saying even if the Bitcoin miners sell all the Bitcoin that they have, because of the halving, that's half the amount that they would have sold. But remember, we just looked at, there's 900 Bitcoin mined a day right now. If you look at the trading volume, there's $21 billion of trading volume a day. So, if their 900 Bitcoin that they sell per day turns into 450 Bitcoin, it's totally irrelevant. That is not the supply and demand equation in Bitcoin. The supply of Bitcoin, that's the amount the supply increases each day, but that's not how supply and demand works. It's already an insignificant part right now. This was very significant before the first halving, even after the first halving, and maybe even the second halving. But by now, the reward is so small compared to the volume that this is not why things move. So I do think people need to take this into account. Let me know in the comments if you disagree.
I don't disagree, Tom.
Darren said, Tom wrote Nikola off as dead. I started buying on that word. Oh, and Nikola exploded. I still think they're almost certainly going out of business, but this can happen. These are great. I don't know why Darren is trolling beyond belief today. You're welcome. Hey, listen, all comments are welcome. So, yeah, Nikola was up like 60% in one day. So, well, congratulations, Darren. If you're playing the opposite Tom trade on that one, that was a home run for you. Although
I do that too.
And how's that working out?
Not good.
The polls, let's see. Justin C. The polls like this always say it goes higher, and I think it always goes down before up. That was Justin. I think I'm way behind here on the... Oh, wow. I'm like pages behind. Sorry. George is usually our keeps up on the chat better than I do because he's a better multitasker. FV702 said Core Scientific mined 31 Bitcoin today. Darren. That's a, hey, listen, Darren, this is you can it's an open chat. This is our oh, and since you're a member, you're also allowed to troll me in the members only chat as well. But no, Darren has been an excellent member over the years, so thanks for your support. Appreciated. All right, I'm going to go back to this chart, and then I want to talk about a few things. I never get to any of the stuff that I was going to talk about, so let's try to get to some of those today. While George, I think, had to go do something. And in the meantime, you will see we did bounce off. You know, obviously, this is super short term. It's only been an hour, but we did bounce off of this 30,000 line, and we've been headed back up for the moment. So way too early. It's still Friday night. We got all weekend long. Crazy things can happen over the weekend. I mean, that's just the way it is. So we'll see. The key is where, you know, if you're trading Bitcoin itself, then that's very important over the weekend. But if you know, for those of us in the Bitcoin miners, the ups and downs over the weekend, the key is where's it going to be Monday morning when the market reopens. And a lot of times there's a big move right as the U.S. equity markets open. Sometimes Bitcoin has a simultaneous move either to the upside or the downside, you know, in that first few minutes of trading. And today was one of those days where today did not start out like a nightmare. Right, we were yesterday we had a big pullback, and then today we were a little sideways, and then we had this. What time was it? It was just a couple hours before the day ended. We really pushed down like $1,000 in Bitcoin in maybe like a 2-hour period. So that was a rough end of the day. So for those of you who just joined us, a couple things. If you could smash the like button, we would appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing to the channel. And thank everybody for being subscribers. You know, for whatever reason, YouTube was in a huge lull. Our subscriber base went sideways for a long time, and it's picked up a lot lately. So thank you to all the new subscribers, and thanks to all the existing subscribers that have stuck with it, because I know this did get, like I talked about in, you know, May, June, this did get really boring. And, you know, a lot of people hung in there, and I think a lot of people got rewarded for it, you know, as far as their investment portfolios went, because, you know, we had a nice run up after that. Especially the last few weeks have been crazy. So congratulations to everybody. Thanks to everybody. And special thanks to the members. You guys do help keep this channel going. I know it's just a very small nominal fee. It's $5 a month. If you're interested, welcome to the 2 members that did join today. Thank you so much for joining. You can join by hitting the join button on the YouTube page. It's only $5 a month, and we have a members-only live stream every Tuesday after the market closes. So we have a lot of fun on that. We're able to talk about a little bit more freely about some other stuff that, you know, when we try to talk about that on the live stream, they do kind of shadow ban us and the stream stops going out to everybody. Crypto Fever, have any of you guys noticed the insane manipulation on BitDeer Technologies? BitDeer, very low volume daily and exaggerated price swings. Someone's playing a nice manipulation game with them. So what I would say to that is that I don't understand their market cap. So that's just me personally, but I will tell you, I think there's 3 or 4 Bitcoin miners. There's many Bitcoin miners that I think are underpriced and have big runs ahead. There are 3 or 4 that I think have gotten ahead of themselves. I mean, here we are on a absolute across the board very red day, and BitDeer is up 1.97%. And by the way, I'm going to pull them up because their market cap, to me, this is crazy time. They have a $1.56 billion market cap. And, you know, that makes them the 3rd largest Bitcoin miner. Now, their business is different than the other Bitcoin miners. They do have 4.6 exahash of self-mining. They do some shared cloud mining. And then they do a lot of hosting. But here's my problem with that. Right, we know the other Bitcoin miners that do a lot of hosting. Let's name them. Core Scientific was the biggest hosting. They went out of business. Riot has a huge hosting. It loses money hand over fist, right? I haven't found an example of somebody that hosts and makes money. Now, maybe that equation is going to change over time. I don't know what's going on, but to me, how this is bigger than every single Bitcoin miner other than Riot and Marathon is an absolute mystery to me. I think that, you know, if I was to put on a long-short trade, you know, I'd go long, almost pick a Bitcoin miner. Not financial advice. I'm just telling you how I think. Pick a Bitcoin miner, go long that and short this, and, you know, that's a good hedge. I'm not actually going to do that because I think everything's so underpriced that even this could keep running. But how do you justify a 1.5, almost a $1.6 billion market cap on Bit Digital? To Edmund's point, let's take a look at Iris Energy, which mines significantly more Bitcoin than these guys and has a runway, you know, to quadruple what they're doing right now. Iris Energy has a $392 million market cap versus their $1.5 billion market caps. And it's not like one has a gigantic fortress of a balance sheet and the other one doesn't. So, you know, that, you know, a lot of times if you look at HUT, by the way, HUT yesterday, it did, you know, it's pulled back, but I think this is worth noting. HUT crossed $1 billion market cap yesterday. They are now at $920 million, so they did pull back a little, but they have a for me, in my opinion, their balance sheet is phenomenal. They have the 2nd largest stack of Bitcoin hodled out of all the publicly traded Bitcoin miners, and they were the first ones into all of this high-performance computing. A lot of the other Bitcoin miners are following along. They're getting gigantic pumps just by saying, you know, we participate in this. Meanwhile, you know, HUT was out. Jamie Leverton and Sue Ennis has been on the channel a lot, and I know she's taken some heat because they've had times where they've had to kind of not had a lot to report because they were getting this other business up and running that nobody cared about, and then all of a sudden AI became like the most important thing in the history of the world like 2 or 3 months ago, and now everything AI related is going crazy. So, you know, they played a little bit of the longer game, and it has paid off for them. Their market cap has skyrocketed. Their stock has skyrocketed. And it has a lot to do with AI, and that's one of the reasons that Hive just literally rebranded. They didn't trade for a day in the U.S. because they changed the name of their company, and that has everything to do with the fact that they put out a big press release and introduced, you know, they're in the high-performance computing sector. And by the way, high-performance computing equals AI as far as the stock market is concerned. So that's what's going on with some of these Bitcoin miners. That's causing big pumps.
I'm Digital Technologies.
Wes is saying, Tom, maybe BitDeer figures into AI somehow. I mean, they might be getting a pump on that, but if you look at their business model, you know, they have a lot of potential computing power, but they don't have a high performance computing business that competes with, you know, several of the other high-profile ones. Just because you can plug machines in doesn't mean you have customers, right? What Hut did was buy a thriving business a year and a half ago and cultivated it and grown it. So, you know, they have 400 or 500 high-performance computing customers. And I'm not trying to do, you know, a Hut commercial here. I'm just saying, you know, people pounded on them for a long time, and now all of a sudden, you know, everybody wants in. Well, they're the same business that they were 6 months ago.
Oh, hang on. I got to hit this one. DS Flat. George called Bitcoin a failed project last year. He's going to buy some now, but presumably if the Bitcoin price doesn't pump after the halving, he could be calling it a failed project again. At that time, I remember calling it. It was a failed project at that point in time.
So
for the miners, for what it was designed to do, it was if you lose money, it's a failed project.
I think the semantics of that, and I remember having this discussion with you at the time because I took the counterpoint to that. I think it would have been more appropriate to say it was currently failing.
Right. Okay.
All right. Welcome to Talking Investing.
Not cold.
Omar has been a member for 5 months, so he just put out something in the chat. So let me read that. Thank you for all your hard work put in, Tom. Question, what is your price target, speculation of course, for Bitfarms if Bitcoin hits 100K? I've been getting a lot of people asking me what's my price target for Bitfarms, when, you know, if ever am I going to sell Bitfarms. So I do think, I mean, Bitfarms just got up. It was over $2 for a couple of days. It dipped under, you know, finished at $1.97 today. So, you know, I think its all-time high, I think, was, I'm going to say $9.37 pops into my head for no reason, but it was something like that. I think he could take that out and go to $10. So, and I'm guessing most people probably have a higher price target than that, but that is a 5x from here, remember. So that's a massive.
So here's my question. What are you getting out at? Are you going to get out at $10?
Before $10 happens, I will start trimming my position. I will hold some Bitfarms, you know, out into the future, you know, unless something fundamentally changes. But yes, I will reduce if, you know, because at that point, let's just use random numbers. Let's say I have $10 invested in Bitcoin, you know, then I'll have $50 invested. And that will be a disproportionate amount of my portfolio. So what I'll do, I try to do like what the funds do. I rebalance my portfolio. So to that extent, you know, over the course of time, I would be selling Bitfarms. But, you know, I'm not selling any Bitfarms before $5. But from 5 to 10, I would expect I would have done a lot of dollar cost averaging out, I guess is the way what I would call it.
I won't tell you what I just did.
Okay, so $9.36 this got to in November of 2021. So that's the all-time high. I think it could take that out at Bitcoin 100,000. That's a very aggressive price target. So for those of you who think that, you know, it's a lot higher than that, I hope you're right. But I will tell you, my 10, I think, is an aggressive price target. So, you know, would I be surprised if it was 7? That's still a grand slam home run.
Value is today in the Bitcoin miners, if you were to buy one. Right now, today, as it closed, what would you say the best deal is on Bitcoin miners? Not saying I'm buying Bitcoin miners right now, but
the way I would answer that is the next dollars that I will personally spend are going to be on, you know, unless something makes a drastic move. I'm still saying I'm with Edmund. I think Iris Energy is still very low. from a market cap standpoint. And everybody, I'm just going to do a public service announcement, and I know the vast majority of you know this. Please don't pay attention to stock price. I have gotten a monumental amount of comments over the last 2 weeks. Why is Bitfarms stock price so much lower than all the other companies? Stock price doesn't mean anything at all. It has to do with market cap. So, several of these stocks did a reverse split, and some of these stocks didn't do as much dilution. So forget about stock price when you're looking at this, just as an aside, because I know some people make a mistake. They go, oh, this stock's only at X number, or, this stock's already up to 8. I'll give you a perfect example. You could go, oh man, Stronghold's already up to $8. I missed the run. But what you really need to do, in my opinion, if you're doing your due diligence, where are we going here? See, that's something else I was going to talk about, but let's go to that. Let's not go to that right now.
Woohoo! Just so you know, right now I'm sitting here buying a whole bunch of miners.
Stronghold. So if you look at stock price, you might go, it's $8. I missed it. That's that's 4 times what Bitfarms is trading at. But look, the market cap is $44 million. So that's what I'm looking at. What's the future market cap of this company? Is this company worth $44 million? I think it's worth, I think it would be easy for this to get to $400 million. That's a 10x. So this has a lot, and it's higher risk reward. But to me, this is going to 10x long before Bitfarms 10x's. Now, I have a higher level of conviction in Bitfarms, and that means through thick or thin, through, crypto winter, through bull markets, through bear markets, through, good things happening and bad things happening. So, from that perspective, my position in Bitfarms will probably always be bigger. But to me, this is a speculative play sitting at $44 million. That's still a micro cap stock. So even though the price is $8, and the other thing to be careful of, at one point I just started buying this in 2023. So I've had the dollar cost average up. My average in this was at like $3 and change. So, you can look at that and go, man, I don't want to buy this at $5 because, it's bringing up my average. But you got to break, I even have to break myself out of that mindset and say, forget about that. Where's my price target for this? Where's this stock going? Not what's my current basis in it. And, that shouldn't matter. I'm quite sure I didn't answer the original question, but that's
no, it's okay.
That's all I have to say about that.
I am changing my opinion about HUT, though. I'll tell you that.
For the better or the worse?
For the better. They could be. I think they've spread their risk among AI and also Bitcoin mining.
They've spread their risk. They've created, sources of fiat revenue to pay the bills. It doesn't pay all their bills, but that was their concept when they rolled this out. And Jamie has a lot of, this is her background. So although she is absolutely remains bullish on Bitcoin, and you can tell management and the board of directors are still very bullish on Bitcoin because they have the second largest stack of Bitcoin on their balance sheet of all the publicly traded companies. So I know it looks like they're a little bit dormant in the Bitcoin mining side of things, which they are, but they've lined up this potential merger. That's going to jump them straight to 7.5 exahash. And in the meantime, they've done a lot to shape up this other side of the business, which now all of a sudden the rest of the world is catching up to that, hey, you know what? Now they're in 2 of the hottest things out there. They're in cryptocurrency and AI.
Well, don't you think they should be around $3 billion right now?
I think that would put, in comparison to what's going on, that they would have run way up. Because remember, they're going to do a merger of equals still.
Right.
So that's going to increase their market cap when that happens.
So basically, it's a $2 billion company.
I shouldn't say when that happens. I should say if that happens. It's a proposed merger of equals. I think
have they spoke about it again? Do you know any news on it?
No new news, but they're very optimistic, And I think they're working under the assumption that that is the most likely case scenario. And I think that it probably is the most likely case scenario. Edmund saying Iris 5.5 exahash, 0 debt, 55 million shares. So yes, thus far Iris has had to do no dilution. They have a very low share count. They have no debt. That is important. I'm looking at the companies, and I'm going to do a video on this. I'm looking at the companies that have no debt or very little debt. The companies that have large debt, I think, you know, and large in proportion to the size company they are. How much revenue are they generating? How much cash flow are they generating? Because remember, when you have debt service. You have to pay interest on your debt, which is cash that goes out the door, but you also have to pay debt service principal on that debt. And with the Bitcoin miners, you know, they're lucky if they get 2-year terms. So, you know, that comes at you like a freight train. So the companies that have a lot of debt in proportion to their revenue, I think, could be in trouble at the halving if Bitcoin really doesn't take off. They certainly bring with them a much higher level of risk, in my opinion. So that's something that I do look at, and I want to make a video on that specifically. So let me know if you guys would be interested in that video, because I think that's a super important thing that I don't know how much people talk about it. And not all debt is created equal. I will tell you, I'll point out right now, Marathon has a gigantic amount of debt, but it's very, very different. It's convertible debt, and, you know, depending on how things go, that could work in their favor as well. So there's a lot going on in debt with these guys.
So when I'm 80 and Marathon finally fails, I'll be like, I told you so.
Well, listen, if it takes until you're 80, then they probably got rich in the middle. Darren said, Darren is 100% with Edmund and me on Iris Energy.
I'll let you know, I just bought a whole bunch of Iris.
Welcome to the party.
I just bought that, and I bought Stronghold. Once I found out why Bitcoin plummeted today, I felt good. Tom and I have been talking, and we both feel that it should go to 35,000.
Yeah, I'm just patiently waiting, and I think it's, you know, if you go back to the, I'm on Bitfarms now, but if you go back to the daily, the formation that's setting up here, I think this is like still sitting in the perfect setup to run up to 35,000 and maybe more. Let me go to the 1 week, because there's also a giant gap. I'm going to get rid of all my lines because that's just too many. Oh, that's the opposite of getting rid of them. So if you look at the way Bitcoin came down, I mean, remember, we were hanging out here at around 38,000, right? We had a big pullback to 38,000. Then we ran back up in end of March of 2022. We ran back up to 48,000. So all the Bitcoin miners had a local high at that point. This was a point, and then from there, boom, it was like game over. In this, you know, reasonably short period of time, April, May, June, you know, less than 3 months, we're down 60% or more. That was so from where we sit right now, if you look at this green line across, that's where we're trading at the moment. There's not much going on from here, particularly to like here. And this is around $37,000. So, you know, if I go to 35,000, these weekly candles are opening and closing at around $36,000. So there's kind of a gap here that I think needs to be filled. And so, but it's waiting. You can see this is also a very long-term line of resistance, which is why we hung out it was support here for all these times. It was resistance here. We bumped into it back in April. We're bumping up against it now, but once we break through, I think that move to 35 should be, nothing's easy, but I think that'll be a natural, in my opinion. Sour Melon Gaming said, I know this is a capital-intensive business, but Iris, having not diluted yet, is a big green flag for investors. That is true, but I will add to that. So, very fair. They've gotten a lot further without dilution than everybody else, but they have another 560 megawatts that they're going to build out and buy machines for. So they're going to be multiples bigger than they are right now. And in order to get there, they will dilute. Unless, they win the Powerball or something in between now and then, they will dilute. They're not going to take on debt to get there. If they should not take on debt to get there, in my very strong opinion. None of the Bitcoin miners are taking on debt. They're not going to generate enough cash flow, no matter how high Bitcoin goes, to get there organically through cash flow. So that leaves dilution. So all these companies are going to dilute. There was an argument, and Crypto Fever, thanks for picking up the argument. I left it be in the comments section of one of my videos. Somebody was saying, oh, this guy's a dummy, and he did a whole marathon video and didn't even talk about the stock dilution. So a couple of points on that. Marathon's having a meeting, and they're having a vote, and they're voting on increasing the number of outstanding shares. So I think people get very confused on this. Increasing the number, I'm sorry, not outstanding. See, I just said the wrong thing. They're increasing the number of available shares. So authorized shares. They want to go to 500 million authorized shares. Just because a share is authorized, look on all the other balance sheets. For instance, if I were to go to Riot's balance sheet right now, you're going to see the number of authorized shares they have is double the number of shares that are outstanding, which means they could dilute themselves 100% right now. Now, they're not going to, and it would be ridiculous to assume that they're going to just because it's available. So, yes, Marathon wants to increase the number of authorized shares. I don't know what George is doing. Marathon wants to increase the number of authorized shares. They have a plan to get to 23 exahash. Fred Thiel just said recently that they plan to be at least 50-50 diversified between the U.S. and outside of the U.S. He's talking about getting to 50 or 60 or 70 exahash. Well, where do you think the money's going to come from to get to 50 exahash from here? So, of course they're going to dilute. Sour Melon Gaming, back to your point, you said it in your first words. I know this is a capital-intensive business. These are small-cap, high-growth companies in a capital-intensive industry. So for those of you interested in trading Bitcoin mining stocks, and I'm sorry if I'm going off on a tangent here, but understand, every one of these companies is going to dilute. If you're not comfortable with dilution, you should do yourself a big favor and just get out of these right now, because the ones that succeed with certainty, they're going to dilute. Any thoughts, George?
No, I'm just still giddy about XRP.
So I feel like sometimes I get a little overexcited. So my apologies if
you do.
If I get ramped up, but it's an important thing, and it's such a fundamental thing. Like if you're anti-dilution and you're investing in the Bitcoin miners, you're just driving yourself crazy. So this is not financial advice, but it might be mental health advice. Like, do yourself a favor. Those two things, it's like hating roller coasters and going to Six Flags every day. Why are you doing it? It doesn't. You know the outcome is a certainty. That's it. Rant over.
Okay. Well, I can tell you from the retail guy that I am, to me, I get scared when I look at the price and I never look at the market cap. I'm sorry. It's the truth.
And that's why I brought it up today, because it's extremely natural, and a lot of people get involved in that. And there are psychological, I'm not saying like there are $10, $20. Those can be psychological barriers and thresholds as stock trades. So it's not like the stock price is absolutely meaningless. It just doesn't define the value. That's not the true measure of the value of the company. The market cap is the value of the company. So I know people do all these things, and a lot of it is very natural, and some of this is counterintuitive. So, you know, it takes practice. Being a successful long-term trader, and we have a lot of them on this channel. We have a lot of our channel subscribers, and a lot of our members are very experienced, successful traders. So I know that you guys know, like, that didn't happen overnight. We all had to go through the learning curve for all the things I'm talking about right now, right? I mean, because and still inside of
we
all
had
of
to
us,
lose some money.
it's true. You lose money as you learning lessons is another way of saying losing money. But hopefully, at least you learn a lesson when you lose money. And if you do for long enough, then ultimately, you know, you gotta hone your skill and become a better trader. And that's all this. That's why we meet here every Friday, and that's why as members we meet every Tuesday. We're all trying to get better at this, and obviously our common goal is to make money.
So, Tom, how much would it cost you to do a deep dive on Mawson this weekend?
How much would it cost?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just wondering, because I just was reading somebody's comment. I'm sorry, I don't remember who it was. Oh, DS Flat, about Mawson. And about how they just tanked 20% today.
I didn't buy any Mawson. I don't own any Mawson, but I'm very interested. So whoever brought that up, yes, excellent question. They have a very small...
Because 8 days ago, they secured a new mining site in Pennsylvania, and then they plummet today.
So I've done a bit of a dive already this week on Mawson. So I'm there. I'm sorry, I don't know whose comment this was, but I'm on the same page. Mawson's getting really interesting, so next week I might be talking about Mawson. My problem with doing a deep dive video is, what I've found is, and sorry, this gets into YouTube stuff, and, you know, it's not fair and blah, 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 but when I do videos that don't have general interest, it destroys all my other videos, because the algorithm, you know, shows that one as unsuccessful. It changes it's unreasonable. I wish I could just do whatever video, and that's why I have the membership, and that's why we charge such a small amount for members. It's $5 a month, and we do a lot of deep dives on a lot of the stuff that I love talking about, but if I were to do a regular video on it, it would destroy the channel. And I'm just not, it's like, don't hate the player, hate the game, or whatever the kids are saying out there today. I don't make up the rules. That's just what happens. And that's another thing I had to learn the hard way. Like, I have a lot of things that I'm passionate about that I just can't do a video on because it'll ruin the channel.
For shizzle, my nizzle. That's what the kids are saying.
Oh, brother.
Is that bad? Did I say for shizzle?
I have
Have you ever heard that before?
You're breaking. We just hit 100 likes. Thank you.
I can tank that, Tom.
We just hit 100 likes. Thank you, everybody. Smash the like button if you haven't hit the like button. It's much appreciated. It also helps the channel. I hate to even talk about stuff like that because, you know, it's, first of all, it's very boring. It's not what we're here to talk about. But that is some of the reason why I do that, and why there, you know, there's a lot more diverse videos in the members section. So
ban him.
So maybe that would be a good members video, Mawson, because I am on the same page. Again, I forgot. You know, you read that.
DS Flat.
Well, thank you for the comment, and I think you're, you know, not financial advice. I think you're on the right track on that one. I'm on the same page, although I have not bought any yet. So, but I will be looking. You know, sometimes it's good to have a weekend because it's hard to keep up all week. And, you know, over the weekend, you can catch up on some of these things that you're really interested in that, you know, I've been kind of executing my plan, and I'm getting to the point where I've gotten my positions to where I want them on some of these things, so I can add the next thing, and maybe it will be Mawson.
How much longer until you're even?
Overall?
Yes.
In my Bitcoin mining stocks?
In your total money stock, everything you've ever invested in the last since we started doing this?
Since I've started the channel, so
Yeah.
yeah, I'm still down from the day that I started this channel. And that has
30%,
everything to do with the
20%?
fact that I'm getting very close to zero.
Oh,
so
good.
yes, but I am still down. So I know a lot of our subscribers and members have talked about the fact that they are now green. And we've had a lot of people, you know, somebody just the other day, and we've had numbers even much bigger than this, but these are big numbers still. Somebody just the other day said I was down 60 grand, you know, 10 months ago, and now I'm in the green. So, you know, congratulations. I don't remember who that is, but if you're on right now, congratulations. And we've had, you know, a lot of those stories. So I'm getting very close to green, but I am not green yet. There are certain stocks that I'm extremely green on right now, but a couple of my biggest positions at the height of, you know, the Bitcoin bull run, you know, I held on to. And so it takes a while to get back. And I've dollar cost averaged in, but some of them are still not bad.
Do you think you've been too cautious?
I think for a part of the way down, I was very cautious, but I will tell you, when we dropped down, when FTX happened, I really felt very strongly that was a temporary, I'm going to call it a fake move to the downside. So I went, the reason I'm so close to break even is how heavy I went in, you know, that 45-day period. So I kind of caught up.
Sam thought that was a temporary thing too. That's why they dropped the charges. Sorry.
Who, Uncle
Shouldn't bring
Sam?
up. So there we go. We're gonna get banned again. Sorry. Did you know that?
What?
What I just said about Sam.
Oh, that SBF?
Yep.
Sorry, we got to talk in cryptic, but I think all you guys know who SBF is. George, HUT market cap after merger is far too high. Market cap should be around 2 billion. Iris will be close to the HUT hash rate when the merger is completed. This is from Edmund. The Iris market cap is about 1/5 of the expected pro forma HUT market cap. So that's all true.
I bought a little bit of it. Let's see what it does for me.
You bought some HUT? Well, you bought some. I know you.
No, I didn't buy any. Actually, that was the only one I didn't buy was HUT. I didn't buy HUT.
So you did some.
I'm excited and nervous all at the same time.
Your dollar cost averaging in.
Okay.
So yes, Crypto Fever said, "I got you, Tom. I saw. I appreciate it. But if you don't, you know, at some point you can see those arguments. It's like arguing with a drunk person, or you know, it's if somebody doesn't understand what you're saying, they're never going to understand what you're saying. And at some point,
it's like arguing with family. Sorry.
Exactly. You don't want to do it, but you do it anyway. I think I'm super behind in the chat again. One Hot Meal said, ban him, but I don't know who he was talking about. Welcome, One Hot Meal, and welcome to everybody. PK, I can't pronounce that. Welcome, Tom, JR. JR said, make whatever content you want, buddy. All your videos are great. More options. This is the way. Well, thank you, JR. Appreciate it. Seth, welcome. XRP, baby. Welcome to the stream. I know Seth was with George very early on XRP.
Yes. Talking straight. I'm a little nervous though. I was thinking about it. I thought if the case is really over, I'm very disappointed in XRP, just so you guys all know.
I think there's more to come. I think there's a more definitive end to this, and there's my personal opinion, I think there's way more upside on XRP. That's
right, but I'm just saying that if the case is definitely over, which I don't know if it really is over. If that's just a ruling.
I don't think this is the actual official end. And I don't know
because
what's
I don't know
be
if you remember on Tuesday what I said was I didn't expect them to win.
Yeah, that's true.
I said that on Tuesday, but it didn't change my position on it.
Well, if you ask the SEC, they think XRP didn't win.
Well, I know. I don't expect them to win.
I was very confused, and that's why I got to take the weekend and do more research. I bet you Seth already knows the answer to all these questions, but what the SEC was saying, they were like, I'm glad the court saw it our way, that they were selling securities to sophisticated investors, or some very strange statement that did not seem consistent with what, the court said. So I got to dig into that more and understand. It's maybe they're just living in a dream world, or it's fake news. I don't understand what happened, but to me, it seemed pretty clear.
Yeah, I don't know. Are you actually going to read the ruling from the judge?
I think I'm going to have to. I've seen some quotes from it, but I think I'm going to have to, based on what the SEC said. Like, they're acting like they won, but there's nobody interpreting it that way, and clearly the market didn't interpret it that way because XRP shot up. So I don't know, maybe that was just they were saving face and they put out.
It was a 34-page ruling on Thursday, so 34 pages you got to read that.
Not looking forward to that, but.
No, the 30. I mean, so that's crazy. So
listen, I spend my weekends reading 10Ks, so it's not going to be a giant departure from.
Was found that Ripple had violated security laws when it sold XRP to institutional investors.
When it sold it to institutional investors, but not to retail investors.
Yes.
Well, that seems inside out and upside down to me, but I guess I'll have to read why that would be. I'm not sure what the line of reasoning is there. Seth is saying it has more to run. So Seth agrees.
No, I'm not selling. I don't think I'll ever sell it at all. I don't think. I mean,
Crypto Fever.
I set it up in multiple wallets.
That's all. They lost, but tried to make it sound like they won. So that's what it seemed like when I read it. But I guess I just want to. Crypto Fever. It was a wordplay on semantics. Let's go back to the 15-minute. What's going on? So, all right, we're at like 30,000. Hey, listen, I got to check in. Got to check in on Bitcoin, see what's going on. We haven't had a poll. We had one poll. Are you speaking about Coinbase? Well, I'll speak quickly about it. Coinbase went off. I didn't even look at what happened. Did it pull back a lot today? But it was... Coinbase went crazy. So I'm not in Coinbase, and I've talked about this on the channel a lot. The only reason I'm not in Coinbase is I have so much exposure to cryptocurrency through the Bitcoin miners that my portfolio is already crypto heavy. So to go into Coinbase on top of that would be just adding insult to injury. But, so they were only down 1% today. Coinbase is at $105. I'm going to pull them up on the chart because this went to them. And remember, how long was it? A month ago, the SEC was suing them and, they were in deep trouble, and I bet they've doubled. Let's get off the week onto the daily.
So if Iris goes down next week, Tom, I'll buy more.
Me too. I'm still adding to that position, although I'll tell you, that position is much larger than my stronghold position. But I also have a much higher level of conviction. My Iris position is a buy and hold. I'm going to hold that one like I'm going to hold Bitfarms. I'm not sure. There could be a point that I exit Stronghold. So this is up 128% in just a little over a month. Coinbase.
Well, it looks like what's her name made the right decision.
Kathy Wood.
Yes.
Or Woods or whatever it is. I mean, that's a double in a this is not a small, this is not a Bitcoin miner. This is not a $400 million stock. This is coming up on, call it $20 billion. So they just added $10 billion to their market cap. Which, by the way, even after all of this run, is still more than all the Bitcoin miners all added up put together.
I got to leave, Tom.
All right, George, I'm going to have to leave
Peace,
in
everyone.
a few minutes as well, but I'll stick around. Thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy your
XRP.
weekend.
You too.
Congratulations on your XRP. All right. That was George. Okay. JR saying coin chart looks like clear sailing to 155. Nice swing trade potential. So, like I said, I'm going to stay away from it only because I'm already so heavy into all of the, cryptocurrency world. Victor says she sold her Coinbase. Tom said, Tom, thanks for doing a deep dive on Midgie. Their monthly numbers should be out early next week. You may want to wait for that. So yeah, I definitely want to wait for that. So Crypto Fever said they are supposed to, but haven't yet. I'm not sure what that's into. Oh, isn't Coinbase going to add XRP trading? Said admin, and Crypto Fever said. So yeah, that's what I heard reported multiple times yesterday, is that Coinbase is going to add trading, but then I heard some caveats that it wasn't going to be just open to everybody everywhere, the same way that, you can trade, like Ethereum or whatever the case may be. So I'm not sure what the final answer is on that. Kathy Wood is on CNBC right now. Michael Anthony is letting us know. So just a couple things, and then I'll wrap it up. And then I also want to take a quick poll. Give me 1 second as I type. So super simple one. Today we had a very red day in the Bitcoin miners, but even with that said, was your portfolio up for the week? So was this a net positive week, or did this day drag you down back into the red? Wes was saying, Mara mined 542 Bitcoin last I saw for July so far. Yeah, I counted through their first 11 days, and now we're 14 days in, but they were on pace through 11 days, and then they did slow up. I noticed, like, 2 days later, they had a rough day. So they're probably a little off this pace, but they were on pace for, like, 1,300 Bitcoin in the month of July. Now, I said that in my video, and I said at the time, it's way too early to project to the end of the month. So, anything could happen. And sure enough, like 2 days ago, they had a rough, I think they mined 2 blocks. So, another piece of confusion that I will say that I got in the comments section was people, so when these Bitcoin miners report their number of Bitcoin that they mined, they are including the fees. That is a part of their reward. So when you mine a block, you get right now, until the halving, you get 6.25 Bitcoin plus whatever fees were collected for the transactions on that block. And that is included in all of the Bitcoin miners' numbers. So somebody was saying, well, it sounds like you're counting those fees, but you shouldn't. But just so that everybody knows, all the Bitcoin miners count that in their Bitcoin. So mined might be in quotation marks because technically some of those aren't mined, they're rewarded. So really it's that they're reporting the number of Bitcoin they were rewarded for the month. Most of that, in the past the fees have been so small it's negligible. So most of that is Bitcoin, freshly mined, minted Bitcoin, but some of that is their fees, just so that everybody knows, because I know that seems like it was a point of confusion for some people. So there's a lot of, the other thing is, we're going to see about this Bitcoin. So some of the stuff I'm bullish on, we're going to see about a Bitcoin ETF. The pressure is on huge now for the SEC to approve an ETF. So another big player just applied for one today. I'm blanking out on who it was right now. Let me know in the chat if you remember. But so we've got a Bitcoin ETF that they have held off much longer than I ever expected. I really did think that was going to be by the end of 2022. Now it's a legit question. Is it going to be by the end of 2023? That could be a 2024 thing. But I do think it's at this point, it's inevitable. That's going to be a monstrous catalyst. And in the meantime, a lot of institutions are clearly expressing massive interest in Bitcoin that were not in the past. And BlackRock, so let me go to BlackRock. They had a couple of things. I want to go to the right thing. Okay, so BlackRock, for those of you who don't know, they're, according to their earnings report today, they have $9.1 trillion under management. They have reported larger numbers than that in the past, but whether it's 9 trillion or 10 trillion or whatever the case may be, they have a monumental amount of money under management. And so Larry Fink is the CEO, and so he's a market mover type of a person. What he says holds a lot of weight. And here's the headline: BlackRock CEO Larry Fink, crypto will transcend any one currency. So he's turned, this is somebody that was probably the opposite of bullish on cryptocurrencies and on Bitcoin. But you can see they have applied for an ETF, a Bitcoin ETF, and they've come out with several extremely positive statements lately regarding cryptocurrency overall and Bitcoin in specific. We believe we have a responsibility to democratize investing. Over the last 5 years, more and more global investors are asking us about the role of crypto. And like I said, I do think a lot of crypto is an international asset. More importantly, because it's so international, it's going to transcend any one currency in currency valuation, he continued, adding that an international crypto product can transcend the problem of dollar devaluation. So those are just some of his words. This is very, very bullish talk on cryptocurrency. And I mean, let's face it, we can pull up the list. Bitcoin is still just a little bit more than 50% of the entire cryptocurrency universe. So, and you can see, the ETFs that everybody is applying for are Bitcoin ETFs. Bitcoin is much further along the curve than all of the other cryptocurrencies. There's no conversation. The SEC isn't even discussing, is this a security? It's a commodity. Everybody has agreed it's a commodity. That doesn't mean, it won't be regulated. That doesn't mean there aren't there's regulations coming for all of cryptocurrency. I think they're going to focus more on, the centralized crypto exchanges. They're going to focus on probably the stable coins, because that is an important, we were looking at the volume of trading of stable coins. This is how cryptocurrency is traded and transacted, in stable coins. Most specifically, Tether is by far and away the biggest of all the stable coins. So, I think there's more and more regulations to come, but I don't think any of them hurt Bitcoin. And the more regulation we get, the less uncertainty there is. So to me, all the big positive catalysts are ahead. And might we get some, George thinks maybe a black swan event or just some bad news along the way. That's just the nature of things. So I do think we will get some more of that, but I am still very bullish on Bitcoin. So to hear, to look at Larry Fink and BlackRock and have them, this is a clear, complete shift for them. And, like I said, they're according to this quarterly report, they have $9 trillion under management. So, for them as a firm to be, crypto positive at this point is obviously that's a good thing. That's going to help Bitcoin. Let's go back to the Bitcoin. So we're kind of sideways. We bounced off of $30,000. We had a very short-term double bounce here. This is the 15-minute time frame, so don't put too much stock in this. But it looks like $30,000 has held so far. It's a long weekend, so I wouldn't be surprised if we candle wick under that. But I'm expecting 4-hour candles to close above 30,000 all weekend. I'm expecting to turn around and head back in the right direction next week. I think this was just, a confluence of things. I don't know if this was Silk Road, other things, but I do think that, this is a little bit of a cool off after a knee-jerk positive reaction yesterday across the board to cryptocurrency on the XRP news. That really moved everything up. So we gave some of that back in the Bitcoin miners. We gave pretty much all of it back with Bitcoin, but still in the identical, I'm going to go to the 1 day because we're still in the identical range that we've been in for weeks and weeks and weeks. So, if I go here, let me add my lines back and, so we got this area. Pardon my circles. I'm the worst drawer ever. This candle right here is June 21st. So that's 3+ weeks. We've been very, very sideways. And we've held this floor very nicely at $30,000. So again, I think everything is setting us up. I'm bullish. I think the next move is to the upside. I continue, that's been my position all along this year. 35,000 I feel like is the next move. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully next week gets us there. Let's see how the poll's going. So 40 votes already. So the vast majority were green on the week this week. So congratulations to everybody. Well, congratulations to the 93% of you that voted for being green on the week. I was up. This was a great week for me. This has been a great year. Last year was a train wreck. For a lot of us, and it wasn't just Bitcoin. We were in a crypto winter, Bitcoin, all the altcoins, but all the small cap high growth stocks had a brutal 2022. So I hope everybody's enjoying 2023. This has been a much better year. It's been a lot of fun so far this year. This is a more exciting ride. So I appreciate you guys sticking with the channel, joining us on the live streams. The last couple of live streams, we've gotten some bigger numbers than we've been getting over the last couple of months. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks for all of your comments. Special thanks to all of the members for supporting the channel. Again, if you're not a member, it's only $5 a month, and you can join on YouTube. On the homepage, there is a join button, and there's a bunch of benefits that come with membership. I've talked about it, so if you're interested, you can check that out. And thanks again to all the existing members and the existing subscribers. And thanks to everybody for all the comments in the comments section on the videos. It does help the channel out a lot. I do go through and read. Sometimes I'm late to respond, but I do try to respond at least to all the member comments. That's keeping me very active. In addition to that, you can check me out on Twitter. So that's keeping me, that's taking more of my time as well. I'm trying to be active on Twitter and add that to the whole process. I can't be on all the social medias. I guess I'm old, so, I'm not as up to date as some people, but I'm getting up to speed on Twitter. So you can check me out. It's Talkin' Investing. So there's no G, Talkin' Investing. I paid them their money to get the blue check mark. So, and you'll see my picture and you'll see me in the blue check mark. So feel free to check me out on Twitter. I try to post a couple things there a day. Obviously, that's a lot faster way to communicate. So I'm hoping to get better at that and, get more interactive with everybody on Twitter as well. I had a bunch of other things to go through, but it looks like everybody's winding down. It's 6:15 Friday night, so everybody's probably getting ready. Well, I say that. I am in the Eastern time zone in the U.S., so for me, it's 6:15 on Friday night. But also, thanks to everybody from around the world. I know we have a very diverse audience here. A lot of different countries and continents represented, so I appreciate that. It does help our members a lot as well. Crypto Fever said, thanks, Tom, and members. Have a good weekend, everyone. Gotta run. So have a great weekend, Crypto Fever. Have a great weekend, everybody. I'm going to wrap it up as well. Thanks again. Enjoy your weekend. Go Bitcoin. Let's hope 30,000 holds. And by next weekend, I'm hoping by Friday's live stream, we're all celebrating Bitcoin 35,000. We'll see what happens. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. Have a good night.